The history of bird flu is a fascinating journey that spans over a century. It all began in 1878 when Italian veterinarian Eduardo Peroncito first documented a contagious poultry disease. In 1955, researchers classified it as a type A influenza virus, deepening our understanding of its impact on animal and human health. The pathogenic H5N1 strain emerged in 1996 in Guangdong Province, southern China, causing poultry outbreaks and the first human cases in Hong Kong by 1997. Throughout the 2000s, wild birds carried the virus across multiple continents, just as humans have the common cold. 2020 marked a significant turning point in the battle against bird flu. A new H5N1 variant outbreak in Europe threatened the continent and spread its wings, so to speak, to North America by 2022. This rapid spread affected all 50 U.S. states and various mammals. In 2024, its detection in dairy cattle in California raised questions about food security and public health. As of January 2025, there have been 67 confirmed human cases of H5N1 bird flu in the United States since 2022, with only one reported death in Louisiana. Globally, more than 950 cases have been reported to the World Health Organization since 2003, with half resulting in death. That is not a lot over the last 20 years. The current outbreak has affected livestock and wildlife. As of February 2022, 136 million birds, including 14.2 million turkeys, and over 73 million egg-laying hens have died. As of January 2025, 917 dairy herds across 16 states have been infected with H5N1 bird flu since March 2024, with California alone reporting 701 affected dairy herds. The virus has not limited its reach to birds. It has also spread to other mammals, including 2 pigs in a backyard in Oregon. This cross-species transmission raises concerns about the virus's adaptability and the potential for a broader public health crisis. Two prominent scientists, Yoshihiro Kawaoka at the University of Wisconsin-Madison and Ron Fouchier at Erasmus University Medical Center in the Netherlands, have been at the forefront of this research. In 2011, their teams modified the H5N1 avian influenza virus to make it more transmissible between mammals and ferrets, often used as human transmission models. And why would they want to do that? Kawaoka's team created a hybrid virus by combining the H5 gene from bird flu with genes from the 2009 H1N1 swine flu virus, enabling it to bind to human cells. Fouchier's team introduced mutations to H5N1 and used serial passage in ferrets to develop a virus capable of airborne transmission. Again, why would they want to make it airborne? These experiments aim to understand how the virus might evolve to become more dangerous to humans. Does anybody remember the virus they made at the Wuhan lab that escaped and caused a world pandemic? While aiming to understand the virus's potential evolution, these experiments pose significant biosafety risks. The potential for accidental release or misuse of bioweapons is a genuine concern. Whether a scientist can simultaneously create an airborne virus and a vaccine remains unclear. Who pays this scientist for this work? Laboratory bird flu, near misses involving deadly pathogens, have sent shockwaves through the scientific community, facing a razor-thin margin between groundbreaking research and potential catastrophe. In one incident in 2014, the CDC shipped H5N1 contaminated samples to a USDA lab, exposing alarming gaps in safety protocols. The contamination went undetected for over 2 months. In another 2019 incident at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, a researcher's protective gear malfunctioned during an experiment with an engineered H5N1 virus. The delayed reporting of this breach raised serious questions about transparency and safety culture in top-tier research institutions. These close calls, along with numerous other incidents like accidental needle sticks and escaped test animals, show the inherent risks in studying deadly pathogens. Another alarming incident occurred on December 9, 2019, at the University of Wisconsin-Madison's Influenza Research Institute. During an experiment with ferrets involving an engineered H5N1 virus, a researcher's powered air-purifying respirator hose detached, exposing the ferrets to the virus. Bird flu is a stealthy virus targeting birds, occasionally including humans. Detecting this elusive pathogen is no easy feat, requiring an arsenal of high-tech tools. To gather evidence, researchers swab birds' throats and rear ends. His method is less intrusive for humans: quick throat, nose, or eye swab. Now here's where it gets interesting. The virus doesn't infect all birds. Think of it like this. If you gathered 1,000 wild birds, about 8 would likely have the virus. It's rarer among migratory birds, only 2 out of every 1,000. Resident birds and breeding visitors are more susceptible, with about 8 or 9 infected per 1,000. These numbers might be small, but remember, birds flock together in the thousands. A low infection rate can spell trouble when the virus spreads through these massive gatherings. Wild birds and waterfowl can be silent carriers of avian influenza, posing a significant threat to domestic poultry. These feathered travelers can spread the virus through their bodily fluids, contaminating surfaces and water sources used by farm chickens. The virus is contagious among birds, with some strains causing devastating mortality rates of up to 90 to 100% in chicken populations. While direct contact is the primary transmission mode, short-distance airborne spread is also possible, making wild birds flying over farms a potential risk factor. Given the rapid spread and high mortality rates associated with pathogenic avian influenza (HPI) strains, authorities may cull entire flocks if infection is detected or suspected. When HPAI strikes a poultry flock, the biggest concern is the rapid spread. This extreme bird flu can kill 95 to 100% of an infected flock within days, seriously threatening agricultural systems. In high-risk outbreaks, authorities implement aggressive containment strategies when the virus shows potential for rapid spread near multiple farms. These strategies include preventive culling of nearby farms without confirmed positive tests and creating a fire break to stop the virus's transmission. Bird flu doesn't discriminate. While it affects birds, it can spread to humans and other mammals through close contact with infected animals or contaminated environments. The virus finds unexpected hosts, from farm workers to household cats, underscoring the complex challenge of containing this elusive and deadly pathogen. As of January 2025, there have been 67 confirmed human cases of H5N1 bird flu in the United States since 2022, with 1 reported death in Louisiana. Globally, more than 950 cases of H5N1 bird flu have been reported to the World Health Organization since 2003, with half resulting in death. The outbreak began in 2021 and has affected millions of wild and farmed birds worldwide. It is considered the largest outbreak in history. The virus has also been detected in various mammals, including cows, cats, and wild animals. Testing for bird flu involves collecting swab samples from animals or humans and using diagnostic methods such as real-time reverse transcription polymerase chain reaction, QRT-PCR, virus isolation, and antigen detection tests. Due to the contagious nature of the virus, entire flocks can be considered infected without testing. In some areas, preventive culling of nearby farms is implemented as a precautionary measure without positive tests. There is no evidence of sustained human-to-human transmission. Preventive measures include avoiding contact with sick or dead animals, cooking poultry and eggs, drinking only pasteurized milk, and maintaining good hygiene. Ongoing surveillance, research, and preparedness efforts continue to be crucial in managing the threat posed by avian influenza to animal and human health. The recent surge in egg prices and the emergence of a new strain of bird flu has captured media attention, raising concerns about a potential new pandemic. However, some argue the situation is being sensationalized. Hospitals are now advised to test flu patients for the bird flu while the vaccine is still in the pipeline. The U.S. government awarded Moderna $590 million to accelerate the creation of an mRNA-based bird flu vaccine, adding to the existing stockpile of traditional vaccines. While precautions are being taken, health officials maintain the current risk to the general public remains low. In a world where headlines often sensationalize threats, it's important to step back and examine the accurate scale of our risks. Let's look into some sobering statistics that depict mortality in the United States and beyond. The opioid epidemic continues to devastate communities, with fentanyl emerging as a silent killer. In 2021, this synthetic opioid was responsible for a staggering 78% of all drug overdose deaths nationwide. To put this in perspective, New York alone lost 5,841 lives to drug overdoses that year. Meanwhile, nature's fury claims lives in unexpected ways. Lightning strikes, though rare, still cause an average of 27 fatalities annually in the U.S. More falls among older adults have become a growing concern, with deaths skyrocketing from 10,097 in 1999 to 36,508 in 2020. Perhaps most alarming is the toll of medical errors, estimated to cause between 250,000 and 440,000 deaths each year in the U.S., making it the third leading cause of death. Globally, unsafe medical care claims 2.6 million lives in low and middle income countries. Against this backdrop, the threat of bird flu is contained, with 67 confirmed cases in the U.S. since 2022 and 1 reported death. Globally, H5N1 has affected over 950 people since 2003, with a mortality rate of about 50%. While the origin of these cases, natural or lab-enhanced, remains unclear, the current risk to the public is considered low. As a result, the impact of avian influenza on global livestock over the past decade has been staggering, with hundreds of millions of animals affected. Over 136 million birds have been culled in the United States since 2022, including 14.2 million turkeys and 73 million egg-laying hens. The outbreak has also spread to mammals, with 917 dairy herds across 16 states infected since March 2024 and 2 pigs testing positive in Oregon in October 2024. It's important to note the vast majority of these animals were euthanized as a precautionary measure, not because they were all confirmed to be infected. The sheer scale of the outbreaks makes it logistically impossible to test every animal. Instead, authorities often implement widespread culling in affected areas to create a firebreak and prevent further virus spread. While controversial due to its economic impact on farmers, this approach is deemed necessary to control the contagious nature of avian influenza and protect both animal and human health. For the mainstream CNN or MSNBC media sheep, get your vaccine and comply. Move along because the video is over. But for those with critical thinking intact, here's the real story. The 35-year United Nations Earth Summit plan is unfolding before our eyes. The Earth Summit has targeted meat production, painting it as unsustainable. The Bureau of Land Management has been displacing farmers from their lands. Big Agri wants monopoly control, eliminating small agricultural operations. Big Pharma thrives on a sick population. Our universities have indoctrinated an entire generation into veganism, preparing them for a controlled food ecosystem. The Wildlands Project expands, creating buffer zones and high-density human corridors. Soon, insect protein will replace traditional meat, a perfect population control mechanism. Is this another orchestrated event? Another lab-engineered pathogen? First ticks, bats, now birds? An airborne virus designed to reshape our food systems, land ownership, and population dynamics? The puppet masters play a long game while we watch the show. Likes, shares, and subscriptions are shared in the comments section.